Despite Joe Biden's pledge to combat illegal drug trafficking through his national drug control strategy, statistics indicate that the problem continues to worsen, significantly affecting Americans. In 2022, Biden's strategy aimed to address untreated addiction and drug trafficking. It instructed federal agencies to prioritize actions that will save lives, get people the care they need, go after drug traffickers' profits, and make better use of data to guide all of these efforts. However, according to Just the News, a recent report reveals in 2024, two powerful Mexican drug cartels, Sinaloa and Jalisco, have dominated drug trafficking. These cartels are said to be responsible for a large portion of the fentanyl trafficking, resulting in approximately 200 American deaths a day. The Drug Enforcement Administration recently reported an alliance between the Sinaloa cartel and Chinese underground banking that resulted in the laundering of more than $50 million of laundered drug proceeds. And joining us now is a former Drug Enforcement Administration person who is also a member of the Border 911 Foundation and a national security public safety executive. Derek Maltz, welcome to Victory News, sir.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So, Derek, you've seen the fentanyl crisis that is ruthlessly killing American citizens firsthand. Give us your insight into the China-Mexican cartel link and why the current administration is not putting a stop to it.
Okay, first of all, the fentanyl crisis is a horrific disaster impacting all Americans all over this country. The current administration has the legacy of over 300,000 dead Americans from these drugs pouring over the border. This is not a red or a blue issue. It's a red, white, and blue issue. Every American should care. So just a little brief background. There's an evolution of the Chinese criminals getting involved in the drug business for numerous reasons, but they formed a very lethal partnership with the Mexican cartels, and they've had a business relationship for over 30 years with the precursor chemicals to make methamphetamine. So this isn't anything new. Go back to 2007. You will find that there was a $207 million cash seizure in one house in Mexico City from a Chinese chemical broker. Okay, that's 2007. So they've been dealing with the Chinese for many years. When they realized the profitability to go to fentanyl, a very, very highly addictive, very cheap to make synthetic drug, it was a no-brainer. They wanted to get more and more people addicted. They wanted to increase their profits to run this multi-billion-dollar enterprise. The Chinese, on the other hand, they want to destabilize America. They will do whatever they can to, undermine America without dropping bombs, without shooting people. So this is a perfect strategic plan for China.
Right. And Derek, there are now large Chinese marijuana farms in Maine and Oklahoma, probably in other states as well. How in the world is that happening on U.S. soil? And what do you think the goal is of the Chinese government for U.S. citizens and the pot business?
Okay, so make it clear, it's all over America. I deal with the DEA agents that are working with state and locals throughout the country. There was a leaked memo that came out last summer, DHS memo, and, we identified 270 Chinese grow operations in the state of Maine alone. But Oklahoma's ground zero. They're taking advantage of the weak marijuana laws in America. But unfortunately, they're putting, the government is pushing out mixed messages, making Americans think that marijuana today is safe. And the Chinese are taking total advantage of it. Right now, we have about, on average, 4,000 illegal Chinese entering our country from the southern border, mostly military-age men. And now we have these counterintelligence and marijuana operations popping up all over America. So the question is, why would they want to do it? Well, they're making a lot of money. According to those reports, the profits could total like $4 billion from these marijuana operations, I think just in the state of Maine when they reported in the memo. But the Chinese now are making very high THC marijuana. They're importing Chinese pesticides, and they're spraying that on the crops. So what the hell do you think they're doing? They're destroying our human population, and that's what's happening. Very sad.
Derek, this Saturday, July 13th, you'll be with your fellow Border 911 members at a very powerful event happening in Washington, D.C. at the Washington Monument. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is the 4th annual Lost Voices of Fentanyl rally. I've been very supportive to these families because it's an army of families now around America that are rallying, that are providing education material, putting up billboards, going on TV, because the government's not even talking about this issue. Our Department of Education's not educating the kids. Meanwhile, we're losing historic amounts of Americans. By the way, there's never been a terrorist organization in the history of this country that has killed this amount of Americans, but you never know that. So the families will be out there rallying. The Border 911 team will be there to support them because they need a lot of help. We're trying to save lives. That's what we're doing. It's not a political rally. It has to do with Americans uniting, trying to do the right thing to spread awareness and to hopefully get some action by the federal government.
All right, Derek. For more details on that July 13th event, just visit border911.com. Click on the events there. Derek Maltz, it's an honor to have you on Victory News with us today, sir.
Thank you very much.
Fjord.